Very good evening, everyone. I am Arpita from the IGCP group. Welcomes you all to today's session. The topic I will introduce later on. Firstly, let me introduce our esteemed speaker for today's session. We are really honored to welcome our speaker for today, Dr. Quresh B. Muscati, sir. Sir is a highly respected consultant ophthalmologist at Muscati Eye Clinic, Mumbai. Sir holds degrees in MBBS, MS, DOMS, FCPS, and FICS, and is widely recognized for his expertise in clinical ophthalmology and surgical excellence. With decades of experience in advancing eye care, he has been a guiding force in both practice and teaching, contributing significantly to ophthalmic education and professional societies in India and abroad. Now let us move on to today's topic. So, sir will be speaking on a very important topic, which is myopic progression in children, when to intervene. He will share valuable insights on the early recognition, management strategies, and timely intervention that can help control childhood myopia and prevent long-term visual complications. Please join me in welcoming sir. And now I would request him to please start with the topic. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Arpita. I'll just share my screen. Right. So, as Arpita said, this is why are we here today? Why are we discussing something like this? In the old days, patient came to the doctor or went to a optical outlet. The parents brought the child there saying the child can't see. The spectacles were given and the patient was told, come back after 1 year. And then the number increased or did not increase, and then new numbers were given. And they were told nothing further can be done about this. If it has to increase, it will increase. In some, it will not increase. We didn't know much about myopia progression. The the epidemic, so-called, of myopia was not there, and no one really talked about it. Only spectacles and contact lenses in older children was the only answer. But things have changed dramatically, especially post-COVID, when every child was glued to gadgets, either mobile phones or the iPads or laptops or computers, desktop or what have you. And they needed it for their survival because everybody was at home. So if you see the pre-COVID data, this is data from 2009 to 2014. Already it was showing that in the East, like South Korea, China, Taiwan, almost more than a majority of the young population. This is a study of young adults, teenagers and young adults. So China 65%, South Korea almost 97% needed spectacles. India about one third of the young population, while in the less developed countries in Africa, like Ethiopia, Tanzania, it was only about 6%. USA was like us at about one third of the population. But things, as I said, changed dramatically after that. So why does myopia progress? It progresses due to several factors, but the chief ones are the environment or the lifestyle. Too much near work, too much of gadgets, too little sunlight. Study hours are not well regulated. School timings, there's too much of work in school. And instead of playing outdoors, they are made to study even in school and come home also, either reading books or on the PC or the laptops. So the number of hours of close work is increasing. Children are not aware of the correct posture to sit and watch. They're not aware of the correct amount of hours they should or minutes that they should be allowed. And parents are also not very clear. We'll talk about these. But the other factor is the genetic factors. That means the genes in all of us are programmed. Some people will get myopia, some will get plus numbers, some will get cylinder numbers. In some, the myopia will progress. So up to now, we would say perhaps it's in your genes. But we are discovering how we can modulate myopia progression We have it in our hands. That is why it is essential to take home messages that I will give you today. So let us understand one thing clearly. This is a picture of the eye. When you put a spectacle in front of the cornea, the in a myope or a minus numbered person, these spectacles are concave. So they bend the rays of light. So ideally, all the rays of light should focus in on the retina and in front of the retina. That's called myopic defocus. So focus on the center of the retina, which is called the macula, and the other rays from the periphery of the spectacle should focus in front of the retina. That's called myopic defocus. They're not focused, they're defocused, but they're in front. What happens actually with spectacles is that the central rays are focused. Suppose you give a child -3 glasses, he's got -3 number, he sees the world very clearly because the central rays are focused on the center of the retina, as you can see. Look at the red line. But the peripheral rays are focused behind the retina. That's called hyperopic defocus. So what does the eye understand? The eye understands that if I want to catch all the rays of light, I must grow in size to catch the defocused ones which are behind the eye. So it is a stimulus for the eye to grow in size. Every 1 millimeter that the eye grows more than it's supposed to, you get -3 additional number. So our spectacles are actually the biggest culprit. Our what we call single vision spectacles or normal regular spectacles which we give, they cause hyperopic defocus in the periphery, and that is a stimulus to grow for the eyeball. So therefore, the optical mode, as I said, giving -3 number to a child with requiring -3, it's corrective. Child will read the blackboard clearly, will see objects far away clearly. Parents will love you that, doctor, you've done a perfect job of giving glasses. But if you see the middle picture, that's the concave glasses. The concave glasses in the middle picture in front of the cornea. So what happens? The central rays come and focus in the center, but the peripheral rays focus behind the retina, giving you a hyperopic defocus. So we should aim to bring all the rays of light inside the eye, that as you can see in the lower picture, which can be done by various ways. This is a patient in whom a contact lens has been put at night called orthokeratology. We'll talk about that. So again, to repeat, if there's one take-home message that you can get, that single vision glasses, normal spectacle glasses for somebody who's progressing, not for everybody, but for somebody whose myopia is progressing, is not good because it causes peripheral hyperopic defocus, which is the culprit, which causes the eyeball to grow. This can grow even in a blind child, even if the central, there are no signals from the fovea, which is the center. As long as there is peripheral hyperopic defocus, there will be a stimulation for the eyeball to grow, causing myopia progression. Why do we talk about this? Why is it a public health problem? Because increase in prevalence of myopia has also led to increase in myopia related complications, as Arpita referred to. So the higher the myopia, the more the chances of retinal detachment, posterior staphylomas, neovascular membranes, amblyopia or lazy eye, cataracts, glaucoma, all these which are potential blinding can occur more if the myopia is more. And up to now, as I said, there was no well-established or universally accepted treatment for prevention of myopia onset or progression. So it's a condition with social causes, social problems, educational, and huge economic consequences for the nation. So what are the associated comorbidities? Let us take myopia equal to or worse than -5. So -5, 6, 7. And this is not I am saying so. This is report of the joint WHO Brian Holden Vision Institute in Australia, a scientific meeting on myopia way back in 2016. And they said that the risk exponentially increases, almost 50 to 100 times the risk if you're less than 5 compared to if you're more than 5. So if you're more than 5, almost 50 to 100 times the risk of getting myopia, macular degeneration, detachments, myopic retinopathy, glaucoma, cataract, peripheral retinal degenerations like lattice, retinoschisis, where the retina splits into two, posterior vitreous detachment. So, an uncorrected refractive error leads to learning difficulty. Imagine a child with a number and you don't give him spectacles, so he can't see the blackboard. So, there'll be reduced performance in school. Child will become an introvert, leading to psychosocial maldevelopment of the child. You need sensitivity and skill to detect and evaluate these children who remain withdrawn and show low interest in socializing and interaction. So, coming to our topic exactly, how do we reduce the prevalence? How do we reduce the progression? But there are not too many studies from India now. Recently, we got a few. But basically, from other Asian countries, we know that overemphasis on academic performance, drilling the children to study more and more, and not having structured outdoor activity is a factor which contributes a huge amount. In a very interesting study in Japan, they did a study of children learning only the Japanese alphabet, which is, very squiggly, tiny, tiny little lines, which a little tick one way or the other can change the word. And compared it to children, Japanese children learning only English language. And when they followed up these children for 10 years, they found that the children learning English language had one third the myopia of the children learning only Japanese language. So, we should have in our country too myopia prevention strategies very much in place. So, a few take home messages. Greater time spent in near work affects myopia. This is established fact by Rose et al. In 2008, which said that children who spend low amount of near time at near work, less than 1.5 hours, that is desirable. Moderate amount is 1.5 to 2.5, and if a child spends more than 2.5 hours per day in near work, the chances of progression increase exponentially. Conversely, Rose et al. Again, the same landmark study said if you spend more times outdoors, it halts the myopia onset. So there are various reasons why it happens, but it's natural light which causes it, that is sunlight. No amount of artificial light. The Chinese tried to get by saying we'll make the children study more, but we'll illuminate the room in the school with huge amount of artificial light. Did not work. Myopia progressed. So you need to have children spending more time outdoors. So again, Rose has said low outdoor time of less than 1.5 hours is not desirable. Moderate is 1.5 to 2.5 hours outdoors, which is okay. And if a child can spend more than 2.5 hours per day outdoors playing in the garden, even just walking around in the sunlight, and India is blessed with sunlight, it is excellent for preventing myopia progression. So less amount of near work and more amount of outdoor activity helps. Uh, Brian Holden, who did a lot of work on myopia, also found that the younger the myope is, genetically, suppose a child of 5 years or 7 years, as is shown, is detected with myopia the first time, chances are that he will progress by almost one diopter every year. While if a child of 16 is detected as myopia for the first time, he is less likely to progress, only 0.1 diopters per year. So younger myopes progress faster. We have to concentrate on the younger myopes with myopia control strategies, which we'll talk about. So Chandrasekhar is an optometrist with whom I have been working for many, many years. And we came out with a risk score. Just as you have a risk score for cancer, if you have tobacco, your risk of cancer goes up. If you have other bad habits, your risk of cancer goes up. Or if you have unnatural sex, your risk of HIV/AIDS goes up. So we came out with risk factors. So single vision glasses, let us give them -1 point. Single myopic parent, because it's genetic, 1 point. If both parents are myopic, 2 points. So the early onset of myopia, 3 points. These are all, the higher the points, the more the risk. So less than 2.5 hours of outdoor activities, we gave 1. Low light living conditions, 1, and so on. So we came out of this risk score, and this risk score is available. So if children with high risk, then they need more aggressive myopia management. So we came out with this and we said if the child has a total of 3 points or less, it is of low risk. If it has 6 points or more, it is medium risk. And 9 points or more, it is high risk. If the child has more than 10 points, for example, if both parents are myopic, child is spending more time indoors, less time outdoors, so all these points will add up. It almost guarantees irreversible vision damage by the age of 55 to 60. Mind you, I'm saying irreversible, like retinal detachment or things like that, unless we put in myopia control measures. So single vision glasses will not help. So there is a myopia progression calculator we use. Again, this is free of charge, which shows that a child, if you manage the myopia, if you put in myopia control measures, it will progress to minus 3.5. But if you don't manage, the same child will progress to almost minus 7. So we can half the progression with myopia control measures. So that is why we are talking about this more and more, because earlier we didn't have the means, but now we have the means to control myopia. And what are the means that we have? We have, let's go one by one. Multifocal contact lenses in our Indian environment, they're not very popular in children. Most parents are reluctant to put them on contact lenses. So multifocal contact lenses, but multifocal contact lenses only halts in about 40 to 50% of cases. The second is topical atropine eye drops. We have low concentration. Normal atropine is sold at 1%, but low concentration, 100 times less concentrated, 0.01% and 0.05% atropine drops. If the child instills once a day at night, the chances are almost 60 to 70% that the myopia will not progress. So such a simple thing like putting atropine, low dose atropine, which doesn't affect vision, doesn't cause blurring of vision or accommodation, and is to be put last thing at night, just one drop before sleeping in the eyes, and up can be continued up to the age of 16 or 18 years. It prevents the rapid progression of the myopia. 0.01, or if it doesn't work, then 0.05%. Also talk about orthokeratology. Now, what is orthokeratology? This was actually done for children who didn't want to wear spectacles in school. So a contact lens was a special contact lens which compressed the cornea superficial layers at night. So child was made, the parents would put the ortho-K lens at night and the child would sleep with the contact lens on. So it would compress and change the shape of the cornea. In the morning, the contact lens is removed and the child goes to school, and up to about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening the child's vision is good, and then it starts blurring again, by which time by 9 o'clock they can go to sleep with an ortho case. So that was a treatment used for children who didn't want to wear glasses. By coincidence, they found that this same treatment is also halting the progression of myopia. So now it is not only given for children who don't want to wear glasses, but it is given as a means of preventing progression of myopia. And the most exciting are what we call special spectacles, which use technology called HALT, HALT, or DIMS, DIMS technology. We won't go into details of these. These are peripheral defocus spectacles. What do they do? 40 to 50% of the light comes, like in a single vision glass, it halts, it falls on the macula or the fovea, the central portion. But the peripheral field, 50% of those, there are small lenslets in the spectacle. The spectacle looks like normal glasses, but they all bring the rays of light, instead of going behind the retina, they fall in front. So they cause a myopic shift or a myopic defocus in the periphery. So these are special glasses. They're a little expensive, but they're available in our country, both the HALT and the DIMS technology, and they prevent the progression of the myopia. And the beauty is that you can combine the two. You can combine topical atropine at night with the peripheral defocus spectacles during the day. They look like normal glasses. Children wear them happily. My grandchild is wearing peripheral defocus spectacles with HALT in school all the time, and she loves it. She's about 10 years old. And there is a therapy called red light therapy. in which which has not come in India in a big way as yet. All these studies so far have been from China. We are waiting for US FDA to give approval. What happens is that a special red light at about 650 nanometers wavelength is shone into the eye. This is a machine which is given for home use. So the child looks for 3 minutes into that machine where the red light goes into the eye. That stimulates the retina. It stimulates, it increases blood supply to the choroid, prevents the eye from increasing in size. About 5 years the treatment has so far proved very promising, but long-term results are awaited. So we are not using this much in India as of now. So this is again the difference between traditional lenses and I told you the dims and the halt. So traditional lenses, as you can see, light focusing behind the retina. But in the myopia control lenses, that is spectacles. Lenses means spectacles. The lenses means the glasses in the spectacles. They focus in front of the retina because in the periphery they put a plus 4.5 number in small little eyelets which doesn't disturb the vision. So these are the some of them are these SLR Stellest lenses. We won't go, as I said, into the details of all these. Then I told you about role of low dose atropine for myopia control. It's available in India as 0.01%, and since just a month ago, also available as 0.05%. LDA stands for low dose atropine. I told you about this, very easy and doesn't cause any burning, stinging, or anything. And I have patients who've been on this for the last 5 years or so. So, which are the children who should be offered this therapy? Children over 5 years of age with a documented increase of at least zero point 0.5 diopters of myopia in the past year or less, and of course, after thorough discussion with the parents. You exclude children with anisometropia, where the number is different in the two eyes, or if there is a cylinder, astigmatism more than 1.5, or syndromic children, mean children with Down syndrome or some other mentally challenged children, or children with retinopathy of prematurity who have got myopia because of that, or they've had cataract surgery and they've got myopic shift. So essentially, low dose atropine therapy and these special glasses that I talked about are to be used for normal children with myopia and not too much of cylindrical number or astigmatism. We do a baseline axial length measurement and keratometry, that means the corneal curvature, before we start the treatment. So we can prove to them that the axial length is not increasing as it should when you do this, and motivates the parents to continue with the treatment. To summarize about low dose atropine, 0.01%, which is the one which is widely used, is fairly safe for kids above 5 years. It should be continued for at least 1 to 2 years. If it is not showing any response in 1 to 2 years, you can shift to the 0.05%, which is available only since last month. And when do you want to stop it? Suppose the child is not progressing, you can give a washout period. Stop the atropine for a year if this myopia is stable. And if it remains stable, you can stay off. Otherwise, you can restart the atropine. And as I said, if 0.01% is not working, you can try 0.05%. And you can continue till the myopia stops progressing up to the age of 18 years also, though all these studies have taken place in older, up to 16 years of age. Important thing is to change the lifestyle. Minimum 2.5 hours of outdoor time, lifestyle modification, less computer time. Let me give you a word on this for all those who are parents here with young children and listening to me. Parents often come to me saying, please tell my child not to watch mobile. He just wants to watch mobile all the time and he can't eat his food without the mobile on. And I tell the parents, who has started this practice of giving them the mobile? You have started. Either you are sitting there with the child with your mobile on, and the child is tempted. Children are tempted with moving images to look at them. So you should avoid using your mobile in front of children so that they will not copycat you. And don't use mobile phones as surrogate parents. Many times both parents are working, the child is in the house with a helper or a caretaker, and the caretaker doesn't want to chit chat with the child or play games or engage the child in conversations. So they simply put the cell phone on and the child is watching it and eating. So it is the fault of the parents. It is not the fault of your children if your children are watching the mobiles. So please have a lifestyle modification. It is always possible. Children will throw a tantrum. They will not eat for 1 day, 2 days. Let them not eat. Be a little strict. You have to be drastic. In Bangalore, in NIMHANS, which is the National Mental Institute, they have come out with a de-addiction program for children to de-addict them from the computers. They're recognizing that this is a mental disease. And healthy eating habits, less of pizzas and burgers and junk food, and good food, if you give them, it does contribute a lot in improving. So all I'm saying is the spectacles and contact lenses and atropine is not the only thing. You must increase outdoor time, have a lifestyle modification, less computer time, and healthy eating habits as well. Everything together must be done. We all must participate. Do not leave it to the doctor or the optical outlet to control the myopia in your child. Let you and me participate together and stop myopia progression. In summary, I told you about orthokeratology, low dose atropine, multifocal soft lenses, myopia control spectacles, spending minimum 2.5 hours outdoors in sunlight, avoid continuous close work, and healthy food with green vegetables. I'm sorry if I've overloaded you like that bus in the picture, but I had 30 minutes in which to try and drive home this message to you. I'll be very happy to answer any questions. Do give myopia management some serious thought. Thank you so much for your attention. Over to you, Arpita.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. That was really very insightful. And the point that like you have pointed out, the parents, they are the ones who involve the children into this screening time habit. So first of all, they need to like uh, make it a habit to not watch the screen in front of the children at least. Sir, we have received a few questions from our audience.
Go ahead.
The first one is, are there any specific risk factors or red flags that parents and pediatricians should watch for to identify children at higher risk of rapid progression?
Yes, I pointed out the Chavan Muscati risk score in my slide, which if the parents are myopic, one parent is myopic or two parents are myopic, then it is a risk factor. The child must be observed very carefully every 3 months or every 6 months. He should be checked because they can get myopia at an early age. And the earlier the child gets myopia, the more the risk of progression. So children with the parents myopic, children who are doing too much of close work, children who are getting myopia at an early age, these are some of the risk factors in which the aggressive management is required. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Another question is on the role of outdoor activities and reduce screen time in preventing or controlling myopia. This also, sir, has also already shown in his slides.
Yes.
2.5 hours, correct, sir?
Absolutely. 2.5 hours outdoors and less than 2.5 hours on computers. If the school work demands the computer work, do it as little time as possible. Yeah.
Right, sir. Sir, what are the most effective evidence-based strategies available today to slow down myopic progression, such as atropine drops or any lifestyle modification?
So we've discussed this also, the lifestyle modifications, more outdoor activity in sunlight, less screen time, less near work as far as possible, and the good healthy diet. These are the lifestyle modifications. And I've discussed the low dose atropine and the special spectacles which are required for some children. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. One last query. At what stage should clinicians consider initiating active intervention for myopia progression in children?
My cutoff is 5 years of age. Up to 5 years of age, I will watch, give them single vision glasses. But the moment I find progression, after 5 years, I will start with low dose atropine because the studies have been done after 5 years. So we don't know the effects in early children. And special spectacles, as I told you, with the DIMS or the HALT technology. All this I will start at the age of 5 years if there is progression from the age of 4 to 5. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the queries. I would like to wrap up the session for today. But sir, before that, on behalf of the entire IGCP team, I would like to thank you for sharing your invaluable insights Your expertise and clear guidance have provided our audience with a deeper understanding of such an important topic of managing childhood myopia. And thank you so much, sir, once again for your time, your effort, and your dedication towards our session. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank
thanks to
you.
all our audience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All our audience for joining and for putting up their questions. So thank you all and stay connected. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, sir. Take care.